O Lord, the tongue of my tongue, and the heart of my heart, and the spirit of my spirit, and my outward and inmost beings bear witness to thy unity and thy oneness, thy power and thine omnipotence, thy grandeur and thy sovereignty, and attest thy glory, loftiness, and authority. I testify that thou art God, and that there is none other God besides thee. From everlasting thou hast been a treasure hidden from the sight and minds of men, and shalt continue to remain the same forever and ever. The powers of earth can never frustrate thee, nor can the might of the nations alarm thee. Thou art the one who hath unlocked the door of knowledge before the faces of thy servants, that they may recognize him who is the day star of thy revelation, the dawning place of thy signs, the heaven of thy manifestation, and the sun of thy divine beauty. How wondrous is the unity of the living, the ever-abiding God, a unity which is exalted above all limitations, that transcendeth the comprehension of all created things. He hath from everlasting dwelt in his inaccessible habitation of holiness and glory, and will unto everlasting continue to be enthroned upon the heights of his independent sovereignty and grandeur. How lofty hath been his incorruptible essence, how completely independent of the knowledge of all created things, and how immensely exalted will it remain above the praise of all the inhabitants of the heavens and the earth. Emerge from behind the veil, by the leave of thy Lord, the all-glorious, the most powerful, and seize before the eyes of those who are in the heavens and those who are on the earth the chalice of immortality, in the name of thy Lord, the inaccessible, the Most High, and quaff thy fill, and be not of them that tarry. I swear by God, the moment thou touchest the cup with thy lips, the concourse on high will acclaim thee, saying, Drink with healthy relish, O man that hast truly believed in God. And the inhabitants of the cities of immortality will cry out, Joy be to thee, O thou that hast drained the cup of his love. And the tongue of grandeur will hail thee. Great is the blessedness that awaiteth thee, O my servant, for thou hast attained unto that which none hath attained, except such as have detached themselves from all that is in the heavens, and all that is on the earth, and who are the emblems of true detachment. It follows, therefore, that every man hath been and will continue to be able of himself to appreciate the beauty of God the glorified. Had he not been endowed with such a capacity, how could he be called to account for his failure? If, in the day when all the peoples of the earth will be gathered together, any man should, while standing in the presence of God, be asked, Wherefore hast thou disbelieved in my beauty, and turned away from myself? And if such a man should reply and say, Inasmuch as all men have erred, and none have been found willing to turn his face to the truth, I too, following their example, have grievously failed to recognize the beauty of the eternal. Such a plea will assuredly be rejected, for the faith of no man can be conditioned by anyone except himself. Strive, O people, to gain admittance into this vast immensity for which God ordained neither beginning nor end, in which his voice hath been raised, and over which have been wafted the sweet savours of holiness and glory. Divest not yourselves of the robe of grandeur, neither suffer your hearts to be deprived of remembering your Lord, nor your ears of hearkening unto the sweet melodies of his wondrous, his sublime, his all-compelling, his clear and most eloquent voice. There can be no doubt whatever that the peoples of the world, of whatever race or religion, derive their inspiration from one heavenly source, and are the subjects of one God. The difference between the ordinances under which they abide should be attributed to the varying requirements and exigencies of the age in which they were revealed. All of them, except a few which are the outcome of human perversity, were ordained by God, and are a reflection of his will and purpose. Arise, and armed with the power of faith, Shatter to pieces the gods of your vain imaginings, the sowers of dissension amongst you. Cleave unto that which draweth you together and uniteth you. This verily is the most exalted word which the mother book hath sent down and revealed unto you. To this beareth witness the tongue of grandeur from his habitation of glory. Some, deluded by their idle fancies, have conceived all created things as associates and partners of God, and imagined themselves to be the exponents of his unity. By him who is the one true God, such men have been and will continue to remain the victims of blind imitation, and are to be numbered with them that have restricted and limited the conception of God. I bear witness that thou art the one, the single, the incomparable, the ever-abiding. Thou didst not take unto thyself a partner in thy dominion, nor didst thou choose a peer for thyself upon earth. All created things have borne witness unto that which the tongue of thy grandeur hath testified ere their creation. Verily, thou art God. There is none other God but thee. From everlasting thou wast sanctified from the mention of thy servants, and exalted above the description of thy creatures. Thou beholdest, O Lord, the ignorant seeking the ocean of thy knowledge, the sore athirst the living waters of thine utterance. The abased the tabernacle of thy glory, the poor the treasury of thy riches, the suppliant the dawning place of thy wisdom, the weak the source of thy strength, the wretched the heaven of thy bounty, the dumb the kingdom of thy mention. Whoso cleaveth to justice can under no circumstances transgress the limits of moderation. He discerneth the truth in all things through the guidance of him who is the all-seeing. The civilization so often vaunted by the learned exponents of arts and sciences will, if allowed to overleap the bounds of moderation, bring great evil upon men. Thus warneth you he who is the all-knowing. If carried to excess, civilization will prove as prolific a source of evil as it had been of goodness when kept within the restraints of moderation. Meditate on this, O people, and be not of them that wander distraught in the wilderness of error. The day is approaching when its flame will devour the cities, when the tongue of grandeur will proclaim, "The kingdom is God's, the Almighty, the All-Praised." Were man to appreciate the greatness of his station and the loftiness of his destiny, he would manifest naught save goodly character, pure deeds, and a seemly and praiseworthy conduct. If the learned and wise men of good will were to impart guidance unto the people, the whole earth would be regarded as one country. Verily, this is the undoubted truth. This servant appealeth to every diligent and enterprising soul to exert his utmost endeavor and arise to rehabilitate the conditions in all regions, and to quicken the dead with the living waters of wisdom and utterance, by virtue of the love he cherisheth for God, the one, the peerless, the Almighty, the Beneficent.